It's a widespread misconception that getting a first-time buyer mortgage UK is difficult and time-consuming. That is not the situation. We will go through all the information you need today in order to make your first mortgage purchase in the United Kingdom. We must first plan in order to get your first mortgage. The first thing we need is your money so that we can start the process of getting you ready. We need a deposit right now since we can no longer get a mortgage without deposit. Perhaps you don't need as much as you believe. The required percentage is only 5%. Therefore, a £12,500 deposit is required if you're looking for homes priced at about £250,000. That comes to £17,500 if you're looking at homes closer to £350,000. £450,000 is £22,500 and so on. You already know where this is headed, but for now, all we need is a 5% down payment. Hello everyone, welcome to Finance Wisdom. In this video, we're going to talk about things that can help you as first-time buyer mortgage UK beginner's guide. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. It's a common question to hear, well, I have 5% deposit, but I could certainly obtain 10% in 6 months or a year. Should I hold off? The short answer is no. I don't believe you should since rates are rising and home prices are rising. So in my view, the sooner you get on the ladder, the better off you'll be in the long run. Based on what you're considering, who's to say that your additional $5,000 in 6 months will still only be a 5% deposit? If rates are also rising, the sooner you can look in a new mortgage, the better. We now have our deposit. We're going to require a small amount of cash for certain fees and expenses. I'll walk you through each one by one. The solicitor's costs are the first fee to pay. First-time buyer mortgage UK, the purchasers should often budget £3,000 for attorneys. It could be a little less than that, but it might be that much. Particularly if you're purchasing a shared ownership or help to buy house, a flat, or a leasehold property, which can raise the cost of your solicitor's services. Then, we may have to be ready for an arrangement charge. You may often add the charge from the mortgage lender onto the loan if there's one. Therefore, you may often add the cost of the mortgage lender to your mortgage if there's one. If you're borrowing 95% of the property's worth, you may not be able to. They may not allow you to add a further charge. However, there are mortgage rates available with absolutely no fees, so this isn't always the case. Let's suppose that you won't be required to pay a mortgage arrangement charge upfront. Then we may stamp duty. In the majority of the UK, first-time buyers are exempt from stamp duty on purchases up to £350,000. Anything over that requires paying a small amount of stamp duty, so there is no stamp duty up to £350,000. Some mortgage brokers don't charge a fee, but the majority do. You know, some more established contact centers or online mortgage brokers may not impose fees. It weighs £550 typically. Most brokers will impose a comparable fee. We may need to have the property surveyed or valued. You will always need a valuation from the lender. They want to know that the property is valued appropriately and that you can be sure it won't collapse anytime soon. They just need that, and it is often free. Most reputable lenders will do it without charging you. You may wind up paying for an additional study if you want more details about the property's condition, but you are not required to. As a result, we can probably get away with £3,500 to pay most of the fees and expenses that you would incur while purchasing your first home. Once we have set aside all of our fees and cost money, as well as our deposit, we must next do some affordability checks before determining how much you may borrow. We're going to do a fact-finding investigation, so we'll learn a ton about you and what you do. We will gather all of the data on your earnings and expenses so that you are aware of the components of your salary or other sources of income, including any variable income, overtime pay, and other benefits. Then, we'll examine your debt, including any loans, credit card debt, school loans, and other obligations. The sum of all of it creates a picture of how much we can borrow for ourselves. To determine which lender will offer us the most money, we'll test out a few. This is due to the fact that certain lenders are far more giving than others. The amount you can borrow will depend on who offers the highest rate and who is willing to lend you the most money. We will add these factors together for you and tell you how much you can borrow. Since most lenders average the previous 3 months, your borrowing capacity will fluctuate month to month if your income is fluctuating, such as a bonus or overtime that fluctuates from month to month. Therefore, you may borrow quite a bit if you have 3 particularly excellent months. If you suddenly have 2 terrible months, it could be difficult for us to apply that overtime number, which might potentially lower the amount of mortgage you are eligible to borrow. So if your salary fluctuates a little bit each month, you must need to be aware of it. We are aware of the lender we want. Now we are certain they will provide us with the funds we need. A credit check, an agreement in principle, a mortgage principle, or a decision in principle are the following steps. It goes by many names, yet they all refer to the same thing. We enter your information into their system as part of a credit check to ensure that the lender will provide you with the money you need. It evaluates your credit history and credit score. Let's just say that they will go into your whole financial history. They will respond, based on the facts you have provided, we will issue you a mortgage. If you have paid everything on time and as required, therefore, it is the first thing we must do before starting our search for a home. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue discussing what are the requirements for a first-time buyer mortgage UK. When you talk to estate brokers, they almost always ask whether you have an agreement in principle. Might then responded, "Yes, I'm ready to leave. The only thing left to do is to locate a home." Some individuals will see one home, and if they like it, they'll decide to purchase it. Some people may look at homes for months on end without finding the right one. Ideally, you'll fall somewhere in the middle of two. The first one does not have to be purchased, even if you don't believe you'll enjoy it based on what you know. It's still a good idea to go and see some others. The web advertisements, photographs, and other materials may be misleading, so I would advise going to have a look even if you're unsure, since you never know until you get there whether this is the one for you. In any case, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Once you've chosen a home, we need to find a way to have our offer approved. There are a few things we need to accomplish when that is finished. The actual job begins at this point. We're planning to apply for mortgage. We have a few requests for you. You pay stubs, any bank statements in your name, and other documents are required in order for us to provide a mortgage lender with the information they need. You must also advise your lawyers as well, which entails paying them a few £100, often $300, to get things moving and begin. We also deduct our broker charge at this time. So when we've completed your mortgage application, there are a few £100 left. The remaining funds will be collected later. Once your offer has been approved, the mortgage application is sent to the attorneys. Get educated right now. We're going to provide you with an example of a home mortgage as part of this procedure. The image details every expense, including monthly payments, percentages, the annual percentage rate or APR, and the overall cost throughout the period. There is a ton of information there that you should preserve as a record of the terms of your new mortgage. There will inevitably be some back and forth inquiries from the lender. Sometimes all they need to know is that you filled out an application and sent all the required documentation. However, they often follow up with further inquiries or want to know the nature of the payment they see on their bank account or where your deposits are made, among other issues, generally speaking. However, after a few weeks, they will confirm that they are satisfied with the mortgage. Regardless of whether you or they paid for the appraisal, they will have completed it and receive a mortgage offer. The lender's formal statement that it would grant you the money for the property is included in this mortgage offer. You get a copy of it and your attorneys receive a copy as well, so everyone is aware of our location and the details of your mortgage. Your attorneys will do some work for the mortgage lender in order to inform the mortgage lender that the property is suitable to use as collateral for their debt. The solicitors will be doing a variety of background tasks, including checks, searches, and questioning the vendor or the property seller. They'll ask you a ton of questions to ensure that the property is secure, appropriate for purchase, and won't cause you any difficulties in the future. Therefore, choosing a competent lawyer is essential since it is a pretty crucial task for them to do. So far so good, we have a mortgage application, it has been approved. We have an offer. The appraisal was satisfactory. The solicitor's legal work is satisfactory, and at this point, everyone is satisfied. We'll start by discussing relocation dates before moving on to what we refer to as an exchange of contracts. This is a crucial one. You must now legally bind yourself to purchase the property. You have to buy it from them. The rules are fixed in stone. During this time, you must send the property sellers your deposit in whole or in part, just like you would for a down payment on a new vehicle or similar item. You would have to pay your legal costs at the time as well, which is customary after you've received your deposit. After that, you've set a deadline. Contracts have been traded. Everything is taking place. A deadline for completion has been fixed in stone. The day of completion is now the memorable day. The whole amount is transferred. The lender provides you with a solicitor for the balance of the money. You get to move in and they get the keys. You are now free to enjoy your new home. We follow the processes exactly from beginning to end. The deposit, all fees, all charges, the applications, the procedure, everything has been saved. We've reached the end of another video and thank you for watching. I hope you have learned things that can help as a first-time buyer mortgage UK. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you and goodbye.